In terms of the genes, it is EXT1 in chromosome 8, and that is 70% of people with HME have EXT1. There is EXT2, and that is in chromosome 11, and 30% of people with HME have that gene as well. Just to, as my mum mentioned then, is that HME does impact on the body's ability to produce, now, is it heparan sulfite? I think that's the enzyme, which is known as the tumor suppressor. So that impacts on the body's ability, obviously, to produce that enzyme. Hence, then we have the EXT1 and the EXT2. 10% of sufferers are spontaneous. So as my mum has explained, she is spontaneous. I'm not. I've got the condition from my mum, and I've also passed it on to my daughter as well.
Okay, and do you have more than one child?
I just have the one child.
Right. So again, I mean, it's the same question, but you said there's a 50% chance that you'd pass it on, I suppose. So that answers the question. Yeah. Okay, so it can be spontaneous. So how are people going to recognize this in someone who doesn't have some family history of HME?
Mm-hmm. I think often the majority of people with the condition, it's identified at around the age of 4, when obviously then they notice multiple bone growths. Because if you have just the one bone growth, that's not, as a single exostosis, that is not usually due to HME. But it's having the multiple exostoses that leads to the diagnosis. But that tends to be often from the age of 4 onwards.
So these are exostoses which are visible to the naked eye? Yes.
Okay. And that's where you see the lumps growing primarily on the joints. So I think often shoulders are one of the early indicators as well. Mm-hmm. I know that's how my mum first realised that I had the condition, was when she realised that I had exostoses growing on my shoulders.
When did you notice that first, Jackie?
I think Lee was about 3. Yes, he was about 3 years of age. I noticed it, and then obviously it was diagnosed then that he did have the hereditary multiple exostoses.
Yeah, interesting for our audience, of course, because a lot of osteopaths, chiropractors will treat young children, and there's every possibility that they could be the first people to come across this. I mean, a parent might bring a child with that to an osteopath or a chiropractor and say, "Well, what's this? What's happening to my child?" I would suspect, generally, with lumps, they would go to their GP first of all. But what's your experience of GPs? How familiar are they with the condition, or would they simply refer on to an orthopedic consultant?
Well, they would, yes, but unfortunately, I have to say now, quite often GPs that I've seen in the past just don't know anything about it, and I obviously have to explain everything to them, and then obviously you obviously prefer to go on to see an orthopedic surgeon, but not everybody, not all GPs know about it.
No,
as I say, it's quite rare. Yeah. I mean, as I say, one in 50,000? Is it 50,000?
I think currently it's say the thinking is around 1 in 50,000 people has the condition. Mm-hmm. However,
that's more common than I would have thought.
I was just going to say, but I think further research is happening now, and we think that number actually might be lower.
You mean that there would be fewer people with it, or more?
More people with it.
Okay.